All right. So now we're going to highlight this window, some reflections, not really highlight, it's reflections. So I have, and this is what we're going to try to do. So I'm going to have here ultramarine violet, yellow ochre, raw umber, titanium buff, and Payne's gray. So I'm going to play around with the colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is maybe add the big brush strokes, and then I'll go to the smaller detail. So the big brush stroke, I would take yellow ochre. Let's put some ultramarine violet in it to tone it down. And I'm going to come here with I'm using a bright or a flat. Doesn't have to be too big. Actually, it's better if it's not too big. And let's try to do this. Put some here too. So it will look much better, and it will look really nice once we start putting other details in there. Now just big brush strokes. Don't lose the darks that you have, because mine, I just lost some of the dark. So I'm going to take a bit of Payne's gray, and I'm going to come here, because the darks give the depth. Color, whatever I'm putting right now, that's reflection. But anything that's dark, you know, like there's no reflection, it's just dark color, that's depth. That's what's behind at the back. Okay, so I'm going to increase the amount of yellow ochre in here, still with my ultramarine violet. And now I can do something like this.
Are you overlapping with the reflection of the awning?
Some of it, yes, a bit of it right there, just a bit right there. That will tell me that this is a reflection.
These are kind of lines.
They're just reflection. You see, I mean, they're not supposed to there's not supposed to be a specific, something specific. It's just reflection of anything bouncing off of the street, in front of the, you know, on the other side, right here, lights from here, you know, anything. So we're putting these reflections slowly as shapes. We're just putting shapes around. Let's put one here.
It's only the yellow ochre.
Yeah, I'm using yellow ochre with ultramarine violet.
Oh,
Now I'm going to put a bit more here. More like this. And maybe down here. And mix tiny bit of Payne's gray and raw umber. Don't forget, this is not going to be the focal point. This is just a backdrop, and it's just the, you know, background for the focal point. The focal point, once we start working on the foreground, this is going to be pushed back. Yeah, so we're not going to see that, not much, all of this. But it's nice.
What's the piece you just did with the Payne's gray and raw
This,
umber?
this, right here. Right there. And I'm gonna add more. So I'm gonna do right now. So now what I'm doing is, after I put my yellow ochre, I'm adjusting. So if I find that there's a lot of yellow ochre everywhere and I'm covering too much, because I lose the depth, I lose the reflection, I lose, if it's only just one, in that one paint I'm putting in here, I need to add other things, other shapes in there. That's what reflection is. You look at the reflection of a window on the street and you see so many things in there reflected in that window. So I'm going to do the same. This is Payne's gray and raw umber. And I'm going to do just kind of another one here. Because I'm going to overlap with this, some light, you know, some reflection of light. I need some water because this is... I know it looks dark right now, too dark maybe, but that's okay.
no.
It will look better in a minute.
You're using more Payne's gray than raw umber, right?
Yes, more Payne's gray. I'm going to do this, and then I'll pause a bit so we can catch up. All right, I'm going to pause. Okay, so now I'm going to take Payne's Gray and raw umber. Payne's Gray, raw umber. More Payne's Gray. White.
Titanium white or regular white?
No, not titanium white. Don't put too much titanium white first. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. I'm going to take it, put it here. No, we need more.
Sorry, start again. Raw umber and
Payne's Gray, raw
Payne's
umber,
gray.
and white. So you want to see more of the Payne's Gray, not the raw umber. You want to see more blue, not brown. I put raw umber in my Payne's Gray to tone it down and make it more earthy. And white. And let's do this.
So it's kind of bluey.
Yes. Yes. Bluey. For now. Going to become a little bit more whitish. So I'm going to add a little bit more white now. Because it's going to dry down here. Now, it's like a gray. It's a really nice gray when you mix raw umber and Payne's Gray. Okay. So again, still on the bluish side and less white. I'm going to do this. I don't know if you can see. I'll try to move this. And I'm adding a little bit of that bluish gray in here, in between the yellow.
But it's more Payne's Gray.
Payne's Gray, yes, more Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray, it's not a dark one. Like it has you can see it,
Yeah.
right? You can see it's like a lighter Payne's Gray.
Yes, yes.
Now we can take a small brush, round, and I'm going to take, let's say, white with my Payne's gray and raw umber. I'm going to add a little bit more white. And I'm going to do a couple of little dots here and there. And maybe one or two here. See? One here.
And why the dots
Reflection.
reflection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Reflection of lights outside, reflected in the window.
I like these dots.
Now I'm going to take, I know I'm going fast, but I will stop in a minute. Yellow ochre only. And I'm going to put some yellow ochre, more like a gold color. These are reflections that I am seeing in the reference, some of them, so I'm simplifying what I'm seeing in the reference. Let's see if maybe I can put a tiny bit more touch of white in my yellow ochre. Yeah, that's nicer.
The yellow has white.
Sorry?
The
Cutting
yellow
off.
ochre has white.
Yellow ochre a bit, just a tiny bit.
Oh,
yeah, white,
okay.
a tiny bit, just to give it that sparkly look.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how it makes a big difference when you start adding light, like sparkle, it sparkles.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Lael. What did you use for the parts that you're doing light with? Yellow
Just
ochre?
and white, yeah, yellow ochre and
Yellow
white.
ochre and white?
Yes, yeah. So it's this is the yellow ochre underneath right here. Those lines that I did before. So I used yellow ochre, ultramarine violet, and yellow ochre to put them there. And now what I'm using is just I'm using yellow ochre. I started, some of them are just yellow ochre only. Some of them, like this one here, it's just yellow ochre. I didn't put white in it because you don't want all of them to look exactly the same. And this one is just yellow ochre because it's big. It's large, this one. But the small one right there, right here, dots, I added a bit of white.
This is fun.
Yeah, I know. It looks great as well when it's when you start seeing how the reflection looks like it's real sparkle, like it's real light in there, bouncing off the window. It's really nice. Okay,
Now
so
my gray highlights
hmm,
with the Payne's gray are not as bright as yours. Like
hmm.
everything seems brighter on yours.
But yeah, tone it down just a little bit. Whatever you see on the screen, the camera is compensating for the dark light that I have in here. So it makes everything a bit lighter than it's supposed to be. So
Mm.
just a tiny bit. Don't make it too light. At the end, when we're done, before we leave, show me, and I'll see if it needs to be adjusted. I removed in in the reference. There's a lot more. You know, in the window, like a lot more information or whatever in the window. So I removed a lot. I simplified because I didn't want it to compete with the waiter, with the main. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adjusting a bit. I have the reference right here. And all I'm doing is I'm adjusting this part a bit right here, right there. Can't see it, right? If you have the reference right next to you, you'll see it. You'll see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to.
Yours is
Hmm?
yours is
Hmm.
better
Oh, better than the.
than the picture. More alive. More alive.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm just using now yellow oak. I'm Payne's gray and raw umber, and I'm just putting a bit of depth in here, right here, down here. Sometimes, you know, when I'm putting a color on, I lose some of the depth. I need to put it back. Depth means that I put a wash. When I put a wash over that dark that I see, you see in here, it disappears. It goes. So I need to put it back to show that there's inside there is something happening inside there. It's not only reflection. There's like if you look at the reference, you'll see people sitting inside behind this. So I don't want to put those, like all of these people sitting there, but I would like to keep some of that depth. I don't want to put a wash over everything. Especially sometimes what I do is I try to think ahead a bit and think, okay, what's going to be around his face? What colors? Do I want to put too many colors or too many lines or too much of a highlight? Or do I want to keep it muted? So when I start working on his face and his hair, he the background is not competing with him. Okay. See, like now, I think, personally, I think this dot I put in here is a bit too much. So I'm going to take it out and take that white or a light blue dot, and I'm going to put it here. Because the other one was too close to his face.
Why are you putting a blue dot there?
I can see in here, I can see this white dot. I like it. I just like it. Instead of putting only yellow dots, I'm just putting a bit of like a couple of little white ones too. Next week we'll work on, actually today we should put, if we can, yeah, we can. We have the colors. Right, I'm going to take raw umber. I'm still recording. I'm going to take raw umber and Payne's gray, and I put a bit of that, this titanium buff. I can adjust the colors, any colors in the background. Once the foreground is done, I can adjust all of these colors if I want. If I find that they're maybe too light, too dark. But right now, I'm just going to put a color right here. just to keep it, to cover the black. And
Sorry, Lael, what colors did you use again?
this is raw umber and Payne's gray and titanium buff. And I believe I used this color as well, these colors, raw umber, Payne's gray, titanium buff, for the chair here, the back, this, not just the frame.
Are you putting the guy's leg in?
I'm sorry, the what?
There's another customer sitting there and you can see his leg.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to avoid more putting too many things. I'm just putting part of the menu he's holding. I think he's holding a menu, right? Is he holding? Yeah.
And the table.
And the table. Yeah. You're welcome to put it if you like. Can't see what I'm doing here. Yeah, it's really, really dark down here, down at the bottom of the, right here.
So keep it dark.
No, hold on. Things are changing because I'm moving it. Okay, now you can see. The camera needs to adjust sometimes when I move things around. When I move the first one line is a bit wider than the second one. The second one is narrower here.
What the heck?
What happened?
Nothing. It's just messing up with gloss.
I'm going to use yellow ochre and the I'm using yellow ochre and ultramarine violet to put that seat in the back.
Yellow
Is that
oak. Oh,
yellow? and ultramarine violet and yellow ochre. Just because I have the colors. Darker at the bottom, so yellow, more ultramarine violet at the bottom. Right here. Now I'm going to take a bit of more of the yellow ochre, mix it with the ultramarine violet. So I have more of yellow ochre in here, and I'm just going to do this. Okay. It's not very highlighted like this. I'm looking at the camera, at the screen, and I'm seeing a really strong, like a light yellow. It's not that light. It's yellow ochre mixed with a bit of ultramarine violet. This is kind of the seat. So I'm going to add more of the ultramarine violet. Okay, that's it. I'll send you a picture. I'm going to take a picture and send
Yes,
it to the
yeah.
video.
Can you move it up so it's very dark on the screen?
I know, I can't hear. I know. It's, I'm sorry, I'm
I'm trying to see where the top of the chair is. It by her shoulder or halfway down her arm? Where does it
no, it's lower. If you look at this, see where here.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I guess I should be looking at. That doesn't show on my printout. Okay.
Does it
I think I
show?
got it. Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay. I mean, we will see it better once we can start seeing the whole color, all of the colors better. Once I get rid of that black, the black is making everything look dark. The camera cannot adjust too much black. Okay, so this is where we're at this week. Next week, we'll start working on the foreground. We'll work on the back, and then we'll come forward.